Hey guys, what's up? It is Tuesday, February 20th, 2024. It is 9:47 a.m. in the morning. And I just wanted to come on here, give you a bit of a vlog on what's been going on. Really not much. I mean, I did, get a high view interview with Target because I reapplied there. And I did the high view interview, which is basically a virtual interview. And what those are mainly is when you see a recorded interviewer asking you questions and scenarios and, asking how you would, handle certain, situations, what you bring to the table and so on and so forth. So I did that. I let my family know about it, and everybody has kept it up in prayer. And I would be amiss to not ask you guys to do the same, because if God's going to reopen that door for me to, for me to go back to Target, then that might be the best solution for me, for for the current situation. And for anybody that's wondering, well, why would they take you back, and not Walmart? The difference between the two is I did something that I shouldn't have done, basically, and I got caught for it. I finally had karma come and catch up with me. And because of that, I can no longer be hired there. Even if I use a different email, the usage of my SSN number would come into play, and that would basically probably prevent me from getting back in. I'm not saying it would, but it would be a strong indicator that, hey, they would know who I am and be like, hey, we can't take this guy back. The other place I applied to at as well is Costco. Both Target and Costco are in Turlock, so pray that one of them calls down the line. And I'm even trying to reapply back at Kohl's, even if it's seasonal, or even try the Kohl's store in Turlock and see what I can, get, go from there with any opportunities. But yeah, keep that all in prayer. Be really appreciative. But yeah, like I said, not really much going on. I mean, I hope you all had a, healthy and safe Valentine's Day week, if not weekend, and day, which of course was a week ago tomorrow. So I hope you all had a good one and, kept safe and spent time with your loved ones and everything. My mom basically bought me and my sisters and my nephew and nieces some candy like that. So, we had that, so I've been, I should say, snacking on that over the past few days since, she got it for me. I've even offered some to her because it's supposed to be for me and her, because that's why she bought it. But my mom's like, no, it's too rich. You go ahead and enjoy it. So that's what I've been doing, just eating a little bit here and there. Besides that, we also took care of a few things. We did finally put this clock up. My mom has had this clock in her room for a while. I believe I bought her that clock, I think for Christmas. I think I bought her that clock for Christmas. She just hasn't had the opportunity to really, put it anywhere. Put it, out, display it and everything because of what's been going on lately. She's been busy working and everything. But she's had it like right here on the side here with the stuff. And yeah, she just finally decided that, this would be the best opportunity to do it because, she would have 3 days. And oh, by the way, we also had our family over on the weekend. And not all of our family, it's just mainly my middle sister and her family. And the reason for that is because my brother-in-law wanted to get together to get, as a family, and also get some prayer for what's been going on with him. And mainly what's going on with him is his stepfather, who's mainly been his father for most of his life, but his first stepfather passed away a month ago. Passed away about a month ago and everything. They just checked something there. But yeah, he passed away about a month ago. And long story short, the way he passed away is in a manner that nobody wants to have given to them, in any capacity. Basically, long story short, I'll put it this way. If you watch some of those shows or series or docuseries on TV or even YouTube or Rumble or wherever, and where they talk about celebrities that have passed, but the celebrities have not been, seen for a while before, you find out about the passing. And when you discover about their passing, via somebody looking into a window, somebody doing a wellness check, somebody coming in to do a weekly or daily cleaning or whatever, or monthly cleaning, of the house. You find out via them, that not only has, that celebrity passed, but they've been passed for quite some time. And, sometimes it could be a few days, it could be a few week, a week. Well, in this case, apparently it was 3 weeks. It was 3 weeks from what I understand. And the way they knew about this, or the way they found out about this, is friends in Arizona tried to contact him and he wasn't contacting them back. So they started to get concerned because usually he picks up and talks to them. And so what they did is they had somebody do a wellness check, and that's when they went in and they found him. And he was at a state of, he was in the beginning stages, I guess you could say, of decompensation, if you will, or decomposing, whatever you want to call it. And that's been hard for him and my sister and their family, because again, it's something that, you as a family member yourself, you don't want to, get that kind of a news. You don't want to get that kind of news given to you in any manner. You don't want to have that kind of news given to you in any manner. But that's what happened. And apparently some of the neighbors around there, felt that something was off, because they noticed, even though it's cold, even though it's still winter in the Bay Area, it could be kind of fairly cold, kind of up and down. Some of the neighbors said, I guess according to what they told the investigators, told the people around there, the coroners, whatever, as well as the friends and family. From what they told, basically, is they noticed flies, a lot of flies starting to fly around the apartment area, more so than usual at this time of year. So, it wasn't a good sign. And it wasn't a good way to find out about that. But, keep him and his family in your prayers as well as they go through this transition. Also the fact that, because what I'm trying to find the right words to say, and I am doing this, like a lot of my videos that I do without any script or, bullet points. It's a vlog. You're gonna say things off the top of your head. But that's why he wanted to come as well, not just to spend some family time and all that, but also to get prayer from my mom, who's a massive prayer warrior, for this current situation that they're in. And again, keep him and his family in your prayers as well. But that wasn't the only reason. Of course, we had some celebrating to do too. And one of the things we celebrated was my nephew's wife, my niece-in-law's birthday. She had turned 25. But that wasn't the only thing we had reason to celebrate, because what they did afterwards is they handed out these little Valentine's Day cards. And you're thinking, oh, it's just a little Valentine's Day thing, right? Saying, Happy Valentine's Day, that's it, right? Well, they handed one to me, they handed one to my mom, they handed one to their, my nephew's mom, my sister, and my brother-in-law. And we opened it up, and we're thinking, oh, it's so nice, little Valentine's thing there and everything. But when we open it up, we get an even bigger surprise, a revelation. And I'm only going to say that. And if you guys have any idea of what I mean by opening it up and getting an even bigger surprise, a revelation, and from a family perspective what I'm getting at, right? From a family perspective what I'm getting at. But basically that's what it was, and those are them down there. I'm not going to show, them for too long. I'm using a GoPro, so, you don't really see it that well. It's that far away. But, basically we were, just, floored by this. And we let everybody that they wanted to let know at that time, in on what's going on. We let my older sister know. We let my niece know. We tried to let my oldest nephew's brother know, but He was at two quinceañeras last night. He went back to back with them. So, we didn't get a chance to tell him then, but I'm pretty sure his mom and his dad, my sister, brother-in-law probably told him, as soon as he got home and everything, what was up, or maybe his brother texted him or something. But yeah, that was the other thing we did, and in the process of, preparing for that, because it was just her family. It was just my sister's family. My older sister had stayed home. Basically, she was kind of readjusting back to the West Coast time, time slot, if you will. So she had gone back to work, I think, on, a week ago, because what she had done, and I talked about this in a previous vlog, is she and her husband, my other brother-in-law, went to Kansas to take care of some things for my dad, because my dad, of course, had gone through a situation where he thought this female friend of his was a friend and maybe something more, but she was actually nothing more than a Jezebel. She's a gold digger and everything, that only cared about what he had financially. And long story short, when he ended up breaking his hip and he had to be taken to the hospital, get it taken care of, fixed, and then going from one assisted living to another and to where he is now, currently in Manhattan, Kansas. Basically, this woman, only left him with barely the clothes on his back. Long story short, the assistant living in Manhattan basically asked, hey, when can you bring him down some clothes? He's only in his skimmies, if you will. He's only in his skimmies. And her response apparently was, oh, I can't come down now because I'm headed to Mexico. It's like, you heartless D.O.B. I'll put it that way. But anyway, my sister's been taking care of that. My older sister's been taking care of that. And when she went back the last time, even the landlady where the lady was living at was like, yeah, this lady is a piece of crap. And, have at whatever you want in her apartment, because my sister ended up getting POA, power of attorney. So anything that was in that apartment, which the woman had not been at for a while, and she had 30 days to get whatever she needed before they would, clean it out, because she was, she didn't pay rent, and she basically abandoned it. Now, look, when I left my apartment and everything, I let them know, hey, I'm going to be moving. I'm going to be moving back to California. And I gave him back the key. My dad had a copy of the key as well, but I gave him back mine. So what he did after I finally left, after he drove me back and then he went back himself, what he did is he went back to my apartment and got a lot of my stuff, cleared it out for them, and basically took it back to the old house. Now, apparently that got thrown out after the whole situation there with his sister, but that's another story for another time long down the road. But anyway, he was able to use his truck and other means that he had to clear out a lot of what I left behind, because I couldn't take everything with me. I couldn't take everything with me. If I could, I would have. I mean, I took my computer, apparently, or obviously I took my computer, but I couldn't take anything else. Like, I couldn't take my VHSs that I recorded on. I couldn't take my vacuum and so on. So I basically had to leave that behind, but, he took it, for himself later on, and maybe with the hopes that I would try to get it back in the future. But anyway, I let them know, hey, I'm going to be leaving, here's the key and everything. And that was it. I basically did what was right. I said, look, I'm going to be leaving and all that. Here's my copy of the key, I think, I told him my dad still had a copy, so he'll be in and out or something like that. I can't remember. But anyway, I let them know. I didn't just, get up and abandon without any notice. I paid my last rent for that month and everything. I paid my last rent for that month that I moved out. And that was it, because again, I was planning to head home. I was planning to head back here. But anyway, this lady did the exact opposite. Apparently, she did not pay rent. She was behind, and the landladies will go, and the landlady was going to evict her and told her, "Hey, you have 30 days to get your stuff out of here, because I'm going to change the locks." And apparently, this lady would come at night. Now you would think, well, why didn't she come in the day to get her stuff, right? Well, because of what she had done, and because she's on the run, she would sneak into her apartment at night. She would get into the apartment at night, because I guess she still had a key, and get what she needed, in the middle of the night and leave. She would leave. But what happened, and I just hit the wall there for a second, my finger did. What happened is my sister went back there, and the landlady said, "Hey, just let me know when you're here and I'll let you in." Because a lot of the things in there apparently were bought off of my dad's money. This lady was charging a lot of things to my dad's account. And when the investigators, showed him, I guess, a copy of all the things that she had done, he was not happy. He was not happy. But anyway, my older sister, to get back to what I was saying, my older sister was spending this past week kind of readjusting, getting back to work and all that, and also cleaning out, the suitcases that she had full of the clothes that she took to wear, her and her husband took to wear, but also full of the things that she brought back, because she actually had to buy additional luggage at a Goodwill to, basically take some of this stuff back. And she was showing off publicly on social media what she had done, what she had brought back with her. And this lady had a lot of stuff in there. She had like a bunch of shoes that had not been used. Some had a tag on them. She had bought cameras. She had bought phones. She had bought, I don't know if she had these for a while, but apparently she had, in box. Well, I wouldn't say they were in box, but, out of box, New Kids on the Block figures. The original New Kids on the Block dolls. And my sister has those now. She also had the original Troll dolls, not the ones we see now, not the ones that are, well, she's not up here, is she? Let me see. I know my mom has her. Yeah, not the Trolls dolls that are Poppy, right there, that's Poppy. Not those Troll dolls or anything. No, we're talking the original Ugly Sons of Guns, if you know what I mean. Yeah, she had those, and my sister even teased the fact that, she collected, versions of herself or something like that. Anyway, she took those. She took some Kansas State jacket and a Kansas City Royal uniform or something like that. So she took a lot of these things because, again, a majority of this stuff was apparently, if not obviously, bought off my dad's money. And again, she was just showing off what she had brought back. She's gonna basically sell some of this, hawk some of this, whatever you want to call it, sell some of this, to get some money, and everything in return. But she's also gonna give us some things. Like, I think she's gonna give me a camera and all that she brought. I think I've seen what the camera looks like. So she's going to give me that, and then she's going to give her daughter, my niece, some shoes to take off her, to take as her own, I should say. Because mainly what happened afterwards is the fact that she, after she did all that, and there was some things she wanted to take, but she couldn't because obviously she didn't have the means to do so, like a TV, pots and pans, and so on. But mainly what happened afterwards is she told the landlady, okay, you're going to have to change the locks now on this so that way she doesn't get back in. And the landlady's like, oh, no problem, we're going to do that. And basically that was that. She went back to my dad's apartment where he was with her husband, and they were looking up things there too. And that was the other thing too. She was looking up some other information, trying to find any potential important papers and stuff like that, information that she could utilize. And they were doing the same over my dad's apartment, my brother-in-law and my dad. Anyway, long story short, she was just having fun showing this off on social media because she's hoping this lady, and I hope to God this works too, this lady's going to come forward. This lady's going to, see this and make herself known, and basically that would essentially lead to her getting arrested for what she did. And I pray to God she does. She deserves to serve some very hard time for what she's done. And yeah, it's just, it was a convoluted mess, but now it's getting cleared up. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord for my sister doing that. It's getting cleared up. It really is. But yeah, she was having fun. Like I said, I was just trying to think about what I was going to say there. That's why you saw a bit of a pause. But anyway, she was having a bit of fun showing this stuff off and everything, even having a little bit of a playtime like she used to as a kid, according to my mom. But yeah, she was just having some fun, and like I said, she's gonna hawk most of this item or most of these items, except for those that she wants to give to family if they want it, and to friends, co-workers at Kohl's, because she knows somebody at Kohl's that might want some shoes and everything. So, so that'll be interesting. I should probably talk to a few people I've worked with over there. Basically, and see, and see what, if they want anything. Maybe she should talk to them, but we'll see. But yeah, she was having fun with that, but also, like I said, she was using the time to kind of readjust, back to a normal schedule for at least the next month or so before she goes back again. It's one of those situations to where she has to every month, almost every other month or every month, she has to fly back out there and take care of a few more items, and there's a lot more to take care of, in the next coming months and everything. There's a lot to take care of in the next coming months. But yeah, she was just readjusting and everything. And again, the reason she didn't come either is because this was just something my brother-in-law wanted to do, and it kind of coincided with my niece-in-law's birthday to do something for her and everything, as well as and get that revelation, which, again, a family, if you know anything about revelations with families during, certain, time frames, days and whatever, and holidays and whatever, how they kind of work out for the news to be revealed, that surprising news to be revealed, happy news, if you will. That's, then that also was that's something that made it extra special, kind of, in a way. And again, you guys kind of know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to find the words to say and everything. It's still early. It's almost 10, but it's still early for me because I woke up a little while ago, and I tried doing this video well, it's actually 10:10 now, but I tried doing this video previously, but just didn't have the right words to say. But yeah, they, like I said, she just decided to stay home and just, do that and everything. And she's gotten some good news, recently about some of the things that she took care of over there. And now she just has to, go back in and finalize some of the things, do some other stuff, and try maybe make the first step in trying to get my dad out here when he gets stronger and everything. Over time, because he has family. I mean, he has family there, but he doesn't know exactly where his older sister's at right now. She's mostly, I would assume, last I heard, she's in Haddam, Kansas, or at least in that vicinity. And then his other sister is like mentally, something's not right up there because, again, long story that will be told down the line, but she's the reason that basically he was removed from the house that me and him lived in for a while. And a lot of my stuff that's in there got left behind, but he did take some stuff. He took some things that my mom used to have too. So, my sister brought that back as well. But anyway, but again, in conclusion, it's been one of those weeks so far. It's been interesting. Yesterday, my mom, didn't go to work, which kind of, she didn't go to work, period. What I'm trying to say is not yesterday, but Sunday she didn't go to church, is what I was trying to say. Obviously, she didn't go to work yesterday because that was President's Day. But she didn't go to church on Sunday because, we had the celebration on Saturday, little thing there. But also because of the fact that she just needed to rest. It's like God was telling her, rest your body. It's okay if you miss church once in a while, but rest your body. And she did. And she just slept, for a while. Because one of the things I do take note of is when she does, get up, she has her alarm set, to get her up for work or for church. She didn't have her alarm set on Sunday. She was like, I'm just going to stay home, sleep in, and rest up. And she did. She did rest up. And she basically just read from her Bible, studied the Word there. And what was, what was good about that, and thank you, Lord, for this happening, is it provided me with the opportunity to do my virtual interview, my high-view interview for Target. And, the reason I say that is because, and God, I say this with all due respect, no offense, my mom has a habit, I think it's a hereditary habit, of, trying to, kind of coming into my room when my door is locked, coming into my room, even when my door is locked and everything, coming in there or trying to come in there and, start talking and everything. She just has this habit to where, for example, this door could be locked and everything, and she does this. She's like, she has this habit of just opening it like that. But this is the guest room. This is where my third oldest nephew would be sleeping when he stays the night. But yeah, she would have a habit of doing that. And sometimes I have to remind her knock, and then she'll finally knock and everything. But it's just a habit. I think it's a hereditary habit she gets from my grandpa, because my grandpa at times would do that when we lived with them. He would just open the door and all that. So it's something that I think she inherited, and she just can't help it. I mean, I inherited some things from my dad and her, so I'm no different in, those kind of scenarios. But it's just something that, she has to kind of remind herself, oh, door's locked, I gotta knock and everything. But again, she was studying the Word, doing her, reading the Bible, studying the Word, going to church in her own way. And it gave me enough time, and thank you, Lord, for this happening, to do my high view, my virtual interview. And I even went out of my way to shower, clean myself up and everything so that I look decent, doing the interview. And again, like I said earlier, it's one of those interviews where it's just, a recorded interviewer, asking you questions, about what do you bring to the table, what can you contribute, what scenarios have you been in, what would you do in here and there. And you would record your answers back, and you would have at least 2 tries, and each try is like 2 minutes. So, I was able to get them all done like in the first try because I had done it before. I'd actually done it before, and now I'm just waiting for a response. I mean, I know it's going to probably be a day or so within the next few days because of the holiday weekend before I get a response. And, again, keep that in prayer, for me to potentially get back in there, since God is now reopening that door to see if, reopening that door to try to, get me, somewhere. I mean, I know people are suggesting go to Tesla, but the problem is the Tesla that my niece and my nephew are at, who are siblings, by the way, is in Fremont. And I'd have to figure out, okay, what's the schedule for the shuttle and It just wouldn't work. I mean, again, it probably would. I'm not saying it wouldn't, but it's just one of those situations to where, yeah, the money's good, the pay is good, but it's one of those situations to where it's like, do I want to stress myself out? And, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that or anything. But I do know this. I've thought about this too. Since, I just thought about it right now while I'm doing this vlog. The best solution for me, I believe, is to ensure that I don't miss any time, is to get up early and take the earliest bus I can. By taking the earliest bus I can to my job, it ensures I'll be there in time and I'll be able to work. Heck, if they want me to hop on early, that's a bonus for me and them, But yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to do that from now on, because with the bus system, you never know. And hey, I might be getting a ride from my brother-in-law, because my brother-in-law, my oldest sister's husband, has been hired on by the START people to do some buses, and maybe he'll be someone that I ride with. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting ride, if you will, as we get closer to the potential to potentially my return to Target down the line. But yeah, she stayed home, like I said, and just relaxed and everything. And during the weekend, what we also did is she put this up. She bought this at Walmart, and she had this already, so she decided to put this in here instead of outside. And the reason she didn't put it outside is because we've had the strong winds and everything. I'm sure you've heard of the storms that we've been having, the atmospheric weather. So she decided, no, I'm just gonna keep it inside for right now, and maybe she'll put it outside later. Who knows? That's up to her. But then we also put up this clock. I think I mentioned this earlier. We put up this clock. She's had that for a while. I bought that for her at Walmart, and we finally decided to put it up. She actually put it up, and I was going to do it, but what it was is that I was on the ladder. We have a 4-foot ladder, which is like this high, and I could reach up and everything, but I was reaching up from the ladder. What my mom did, and I'll give her credit here, is she climbs up. She climbs up on this thing. And I had a feeling that's what we may have to do. But my thought was going over here and climbing up, not the other way around. But yeah, we put that up finally. And then, of course, like I mentioned earlier, I think I mentioned this, took the carousel out, the Christmas carousel, and the manger out. We only have the snow globe manger. And then we usually would have my dog's ashes right there, but we decided to move it right there with her picture and a picture of the cat and her ashes right there as well. So they're kind of like side by side. The idea is to basically get a bigger entertainment shelf like this, but bigger, more shelving to where we can have enough room for the movies, but have some extra shelving for the animals and pictures and stuff like that. We still have some Christmas items and everything out, but that'll be taken care of soon. But yeah, outside of that, not really much happening and everything. Of course, what I did when they came is I took my shoes here and I lined them all up here in a row to where there was still space to walk, but it looked more, I guess you could say more presentable. So that's why I did that. And then, and then I took this along with my Mickey Mouse slippers, and I put them in the closet here. But the last thing I need would be for them to see that and be like, "What the hey?" Because with the Celestia deal, I had and this was before I switched this all around. When I had the ottomans over there, I had this hidden on the side. So yeah, it was like it was like, to me, it was like, out of sight, out of mind, out of people's visions, or sight of vision of sight, if you will, out of the vision of sight. So yeah, so I was like, well, I gotta do something to hide this. So that's what I did. I said, into the closet you go. But everything else was pretty much all right. They were actually impressed at the fact that I cleaned it up a little bit more, made it easier to get out of the house via window if something occurs. And outside of that, finally started to piece this together and everything. Started to finally piece this together. This is and I glued this part, so hopefully it stays. Hopefully it stays. This used to be my grandpa's. He had it in his, I guess you could say his trophy room, his sports room. And long story short, after he passed, a lot of things got spread across the siblings. And my aunt and my uncle, my mom's youngest sister, her and her husband got this along with the 49er jacket right here that used to be my grandpa's. And they also gave me a hat. It's somewhere. I have the hat somewhere. I gotta find it. It's a regular cap with all the Super Bowl titles up there. All the Super Bowls they've been in up until that point, which was '94 when he got that hat. But mainly they got this for him, and this is actually something that's out there. Believe it or not. I think it is, because I looked it up online. But yeah, basically the back of it, or basically that the back of that coin thing has a picture of Joe Montana, of Steve Young, not Joe Montana, but Steve Young, and throwing a pass. It's kind of like a painted picture, if you will, and it's a picture of Steve Young throwing a pass. And long story short, what it is that, in the background you have the Save Mart Supermarkets logo. So apparently it was a promotion where I think he came to one of the Save Marts in the Bay Area or something. I'm not really sure. Or when he was touring Save Mart, he went to one of them in the Bay Area, and that's how they got that picture or something. I'm not really sure. But yeah, that's on the back of the coins, on the other side of the coins and everything. But I decided to use a little bit of glue, the same kind of glue my mom uses to fix things. And and what I did is I lined the glue up from side to side here. I'm just watching a cat walking about, that little orange cat right there. Little orange cat right there. So my mom, even though we had a cat, doesn't like these feral cats walking around because they poo in the yards and all that. So anyway, like I was saying, get back on topic. I used some glue, the same kind of glue my mom uses at times, to spread around, to go from side to side here and glue it on. And I just left it on there for a while, and I just, as you saw, tested it, and it looks like it's gonna stick for a while, hopefully. But anyway, that's what I did as well. And she worked on her kids for the conferences she's got today and tomorrow for the rest of the week. Most of them she has today, which is a surprise, but she's got some, for the, during the week as well. I think she's got one on Thursday, what she told me. But outside of that, again, like I said, not really much, that happened. I know not really much is kind of crazy for a video that's going almost 40 minutes, But yeah, again, just one of those situations where a lot happened, a lot occurred, and can't say any more than that. But again, keep my brother-in-law and his family in your prayers during this time of transition. Keep my job situation in your prayers as well. I'd really appreciate it. And that's really all I'm going to say. Oh, I do want to say this because I don't know if any of you have experienced this. Okay. So the other day, I'm trying to think about what I was going to say here. Oh yeah, the other day, and you can tell I've been doing this for almost 40 minutes now because I'm trying to come up with something to say to correlate with what I was going to talk about next before closing down this video. The other day, actually yesterday, me and my mom, we go out here, and my mom, she's throwing some items into the recycle, I think, right? Because we had just checked her oil and the water on her car, because she wants to check that before going back to work today. So we did that yesterday when she was off because of President's Day. And she's walking here and she's telling me, Brian, give me the spray gun, give me the water spray gun, this thing here. She tells me get her that because she saw a big fresh cat poo in the yard. She sees a big fresh cat poo in the yard. And so she washes that down with the spray gun. And she asked me to go look around, make sure there's nothing else. There's no other cat poo in the yard, right? So I'm doing that. And I go over to the other side here. And this is mostly all mud. It's got some grass growing in, some moss grass, and everything. But, it's got some, things here and there, like little weeds, but mostly moss grass and everything. So I go over there. I walk over here. And let me show you what I'm talking about here. So I go over there. I walk in here. So I go over here. Now I don't open the door here yesterday, but I'm walking, right? So I'm walking from this side here, checking the yard over to here, and I'm noticing a few things. I notice a Pacifico beer bottle. And when I dumped it, there was still a little bit of beer in there. And we're assuming it came from them, because there's new people living there, not the same person that lived there before, but some new people. But anyway, I noticed that. And then as I'm walking, checking everything, I also noticed like a little blue pipe sticking out. So I picked that up. And, obviously it's coming up because of the dirt, because of the rain. And then as I'm looking, I see some glass, some plastic. Well, I wouldn't say it's plastic glass, but it's kind of like what's the word for that kind of glass that's plexiglass. It's like little plexiglass pieces. I'm thinking, what is this? So, and it's on the log there. It's on the, not log, but it's on the trunk there. And then as I'm walking, I notice something sticking out here, something white. So I pick it up. And what it is some kind of thing. It's like a round thing on top of it. It's like a little round thing connected to it. And just stubbed my toe there for a second. But anyway, it's like a little round. It's like a little round thing, if you will. Just taking the door lock. But anyway, it's like a little round thing. It's like a little metallic round thing, on a handle. It's like tied. It's like in I can't even think of the name of it, but it's in the form of like a little lasso connected to, connected to a handle. It's like in the form of a little lasso connected to a handle. And I show her that, and we both throw that in the little blue plastic pipe over the fence, because it's like, well, we don't want nothing to do with that. But she's not happy with the beer can. Oh, not the beer can, but with the beer bottle. She's not happy with that because it's like, all right, obviously this couldn't have been from us, because I don't drink Pacifico. This obviously couldn't be, from family who visited, because they didn't bring no alcohol. So, it had to come from somewhere. Now, my first suspicion was, do we have homeless climbing over the fences when everybody's asleep? And that's why we hear the dogs bark at night. We're hearing, homeless, coming across the yards and, drinking and everything, and then, leaving, then leaving the yards before, daylight comes up. I'm not really sure about that. I'm not really sure about that, but that's one suspicion that went through my mind. But then when I dumped out the beer bottle, I'm thinking, obviously it might have come from our neighbors next door as well. Like maybe they got drunk and they just decided to, throw it out, throw it over the fence thinking nobody's going to notice, or they weren't thinking because they were drunk. Anyway, though, we weren't happy about that, and I even went on Facebook. I even went on the Newman Neighborhood Watch, and kind of alluded to what happened. And I also went onto Facebook as well about it. And my niece is like, well, you should have put it on the fence. And I said, well, that's what your grandma's going to do next time. She's going to do that next time. She's going to put that on the fence next time, they do something like that. And again, it seems that obviously when these people over here, have a party, have a get together with family and friends, they don't realize, hey, we got to be careful about what we throw over the fence because people live there. So yeah, it wasn't a nice thing to see. It wasn't really a nice thing to see, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Anyway, though, again, like I said, not really outside of that and everything else I mentioned, fairly calm, fairly, good week for Valentine's, if you will, and so on, and President's Day. But anyway, though, guys, I just wanted to do this little vlog, let you guys know what's going on and everything. And I will give you a channel update as we head into March and everything in April, because, spring break's coming up and things will change, during spring break a little bit. And also, like I said, keep my job situation in your prayers, and keep my brother-in-law and his family in your prayers as well, during this time of transition. But anyway, though, guys, I just wanted to, give you my thoughts on everything that's been going on. Let me know what your thoughts are overall, if you guys have gone through anything like this, that I've mentioned. Let me know what you've done, how you've dealt with it and everything. Give me your thoughts down below. Let me know if you kind of figured out some of the clues I gave you, that, little news I mentioned and everything. you know, that we had celebrated during my niece-in-law's birthday. Let me know. And until next time, guys, I will talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care. I'm out.